What's going on, guys? It's Chris here with a hypothetical what-if scenario. So if you read the headline or the title, don't freak out. No one has technically left the Big 12 yet. But I'm going to play a little with them deciding not to expand. It kind of leaves them vulnerable. And in fact, if someone does leave, the conference could be very well reeling and may not survive. And that's going to be what I'm playing to in this video. Alright, so the Big 12, 10 teams right now. I know, makes a lot of sense, right? No sense at all. But they're incredibly open to disaster. And let's say disaster strikes in a couple of years. Kansas, of all the schools in the Big 12, those guys decide, the Big 12 is pretty much viewed as a football conference, and we're viewed as a basketball team. Why are we doing this? And they decide, well, let's see who would like us. And who comes knocking? The Big Ten. The Big Ten decides, we're already a pretty great basketball conference. What if we added Kansas? And so they do. And now the Big 12, or Big 10, which would now be the Big 15, would be just arguably the best basketball conference possibly ever. And which also, this scenario is going to create a lot of best possible evers. Anyways, so then let's say that happens. Kansas leaves. That leaves 9 teams. You could technically still be a conference with 9 teams. However, your odds of getting in the college football playoff and etc. diminishes almost to a lot to none. The equivalent of a team from the Sun Belt playing in the national championship amount. So who's going to leave next? Is the conference going to band together, find someone? No. You know why? They pissed off 22 other schools in 2016 when they said, hey, come present to us. We want you to be a part of our family, but you got to compete with each other for it. Oh, well, now that everyone's competed and we have some finalists, no one gets the bid. Sorry. Everyone can go home back to your little conferences where you're not making $25 million. And thanks for sharing your time with us. So they go, no, we're not going to your conference. Your conference is a sinking ship, and we're not going to hop on and try to float it back up. We'll wait and see what happens. So who's the team that's going to be like, hell no. Well, it's going to be, as you guys know from a previous video, Texas. If you know my thoughts on Texas, click the TCU logo or the Kansas logo right now, and I'll show you the video that I talked about Texas. Texas leaves, and they go independent. Because they're Texas. And they have the Longhorn Network. There's no reason for them to be in a conference. They're going to make more money off that and being able to schedule as many games as they want as home as possible. But, they leave, but they do the right thing. Because this is college football, and at some point it can't be about money. They signed a 50-year agreement with the Oklahoma Sooners to play the Red River rivalry in the Cotton Bowl every year. So that rivalry doesn't die with the Big 12 disbanding. But now you're sitting there and Oklahoma's the face of the conference. It's barely a conference at 8 teams. You're about to not be a conference. Well, what are they going to do? They're going to stand up and try to rally the conference? Yeah. Until the SEC goes, hey, we kind of want Oklahoma. So the SEC comes up and they grab the Sooners. They step out of their footprint and they bring the Sooners down to the Southeast. And create possibly the hardest division of all time in football in the SEC West now, including Oklahoma. But Oklahoma, after seeing what Texas did for them, decides to pass on the favor. And they're not going to leave their in-state brother, Oklahoma State, to be reeling in the now 7-team Big 12. So they fight for them in the SEC, because the SEC wants Oklahoma, right? Who doesn't want that brand? So they go, we'll go. But they're coming with us. We want Oklahoma State. And Oklahoma State goes, I don't really feel love from the SEC. So they decided to go to the Pac-12, who does like the Pokes. And the Pokes play the same kind of ball that the Pac-12 likes. It's toss the ball all around the yard, put up 60 points, and see who's the loser that only puts up 50 points. So the Pokes go to the Pac-12, along with irrelevant, should have been expanded, BYU. So now it's the Pac-14. And they are set. So that's going to leave a problem for Baylor. Because Baylor would also be a logical fit in the Pac-12. They got the academics. The problem is the Pac-12 is going Well, now the Pac-14 is going, we don't want to be the Pac-15. Sorry, Baylor. So Baylor becomes maybe the biggest loser out of the whole conference realignment. Baylor joins the other 40% of the league that follow TCU back home to the Mountain West Conference. And those schools are going to be Kansas State, Texas Tech, TCU, and Baylor. Now join the Mountain West Conference, which creates possibly one of the biggest winners in this whole story, the Mountain West Conference. But now you're sitting here, there's a couple teams left. West Virginia does the obvious choice and goes back to the ACC, the place they never should have left. This experiment was fun. We're going back to where our travel makes sense, our rivals are natural, and we had a good time. So, now, what's going to happen, right? Who's that team that doesn't have a home? Can you think of them? I'll give you a second. Come on, who's left out? The Iowa State Cyclones. Oh, yeah. That team up in Iowa that plays in the Big 12. Well, you know what they go? Well, Kansas. Now Big Ten might want to add us, right? Big Ten goes, no, we only added Kansas for basketball. And yeah, the Cyclones are decent at basketball, but they don't really add any value to the Big Ten. Yeah, the Hawkeyes are like, ooh, that'd be kind of fun to play them every year in conference. But the Big Ten just says, ixnay, no. So Iowa State is left with, no, it's not the Mountain West. They're going to the MAC. Bummer, right? Here goes a Power 5 team. Now in, not a very good, prestigious conference. It's a good conference, but a prestigious conference. But what happens is they become the biggest winner out of the entire conference reshuffling. Because now you take a team that was absolutely, probably, unquestionably the worst team ever in the Big 12, ever, and you put them in the MAC. And though they were the worst team ever in the Big 12, they made $25 million a year for being in the Big 12. So now they have $25 million pretty much extra money compared to all the other MAC schools. Sorry, Akron, you don't have the money Iowa State has. So Iowa State begins to dominate the MAC and becomes a perennial Group of 5 team to contend for a playoff or New Year's Six bowl every single year. And the Cyclones are going, man, getting left out actually became the best thing that could have ever happened to us. And then, like I said, the other winner is the Mountain West Conference. Because the Mountain West Conference now, unless they decide to stay Group of 4, they become the obvious choice, other than possibly the American, for the new Group of 5 conference to move up. I mean, listen to these. You have your West Division of Boise State, San Diego State, your obvious 2 contenders, Utah State, Nevada, Fresno State, which are also pretty good teams and have had success in recent history. Then you have Hawaii, San Jose State, and UNLV. In the West, that alone is still a very good, Group of 5 conference. But now you got your East Division, which is pretty much the old Big 12. So you'd have the likes of Texas Tech, Baylor, TCU, and Kansas State now joining the previous Mountain West teams, New Mexico, Wyoming, Colorado State, and Air Force. Obviously, you had all those Big 12 teams with Colorado State and Air Force. So now you have obvious competitors in Baylor, TCU, and then Kansas State and Colorado State and Air Force are going to be able to compete. And then you just kind of have Wyoming and New Mexico bringing up the rear. But the Mountain West now has a serious contention on being a Power 5 conference. They have multiple teams that will probably be ranked every single year in the beginning of the polls and the end of the polls. So the biggest winners, the Iowa State Cyclones, the Mountain West Conference, and the biggest losers, Baylor, and us, the fans. Because the Big 12 is a great conference. I hope it never disbands, because that would just be crazy talk. Anyways, I thank you guys for tuning in. It means the world to me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up because it really helps motivate me to make more videos better and quicker and everything else that keeps this channel just moving along to a better place. And also, if you like this video, please subscribe. It really helps you stay up to date, catch all the videos before they're old. And then, most importantly, I want some more discussion on these. So let me know, where did I get it right? Where did I get it wrong? Is this even possible? Because, it could actually happen. So make sure you leave a comment below, thumbs up, and subscribe. I want to thank you guys for watching. As always, it's been my pleasure to spill my college madness brains out to you guys through a video camera that I'm probably the only one watching. I'm watching. See you guys next time. Have a great weekend and enjoy the college football games today.